They tell you on your wedding day that marriage is a grand, sweeping romance. But if you've been sharing a bathroom with the same human being since the 1980s, you know the truth. It is actually a multi-decade negotiation where survival depends mostly on a sense of humor. Today, we are looking at the quotes about marriage that simply do not make sense until you have outlasted the warranty on at least 5 major appliances together. By the end of this, we'll uncover the one unbreakable rule of a 40-year partnership that the greeting cards are too afraid to print. Keep your eyes wide open before marriage, half shut afterwards. Old Ben Franklin was a pioneer of electricity, but he clearly also understood the exact voltage required to keep a household running. When you are 25, you notice everything. By the time you hit your silver anniversary, you realize that half shut is not a sign of neglect. It is a tactical survival strategy. You learn to walk right past the way they load the dishwasher, because preserving the peace is far more important than pointing out that the bowls belong on the top rack. There is a distinct shift that happens somewhere around year 15. The mystery is gone. You know what they are going to order at the restaurant before the waiter even hands out the menus. Comedian Rita Rudner captured this transition perfectly. I love being married. It's so great to find that one special person you want to annoy for the rest of your life. That is the real commitment, isn't it? It is not just standing by someone in sickness and in health. It is standing by them while they tell that exact same story about their cousin's fishing trip for the 400th time. Now, younger folks think marriage is all about grand gestures, surprise vacations, and diamond jewelry. But those of you with a few decades under your belt know that true love is fundamentally logistical. Marriage is not just spiritual communion, it is also remembering to take out the trash. Spiritual communion is beautiful, but spiritual communion does not prevent the kitchen from smelling like last night's fish dinner. The deepest "I love you" a person can utter after 60 is usually translated as "sit down. I already ran the garbage down to the curb." Of course, it isn't always smooth sailing. Eventually, you hit the phase where the attention shifts. Helen Rowland, writing way back in 1922, noticed a pattern that hasn't changed a bit in 100 years. Before marriage, a man declares that he would lay down his life to serve you. After marriage, he won't even lay down his newspaper to talk to you. Today, it might be a smartphone or a tablet instead of a newspaper, but the principle holds. The grand declarations fade into a comfortable, sometimes maddening silence. And yet, even if you are widowed, or if you navigated life without a ring on your finger, you recognize this rhythm. The quiet of a house where two people are ignoring each other in perfect harmony. In fact, navigating that silence requires a very specific biological evolution. The philosopher Michel de Montaigne figured this out over 4 centuries ago. A good marriage would be between a blind wife and a deaf husband. He was joking, mostly, but there is profound wisdom in knowing when to turn a blind eye to an outfit that doesn't match, and when to suddenly develop a hearing problem when your spouse is giving you driving directions from the passenger seat. Sometimes, a bad connection is just good diplomacy. When diplomacy fails, you just have to laugh. Because if you don't laugh, you end up packing a suitcase. Groucho Marx, a man who treated marriage with the same reverence he treated a cheap cigar, summarized the frustration of the legal binding. I was married by a judge. I should have asked for a jury. A jury of your peers would at least understand why you lost your temper over the thermostat being adjusted by 2 degrees. In a long marriage, the thermostat is not a temperature control device. It is a battleground. But what if it all goes wrong? What if the quirks become too much? Well, humanity has been dealing with that since the invention of the toga. Socrates had a rather practical view on the gamble of putting a ring on someone's finger. By all means, marry. If you get a good wife, you'll become happy. If you get a bad one, you'll become a philosopher. Look around at the people you know. The folks with the easiest marriages are usually out gardening. The ones who had to work a little harder, they are the ones sitting on the porch, dispensing profound, cynical wisdom to anyone who will listen. Either way, you get an education. Which brings us to the ultimate secret, the unwritten rule that keeps a partnership standing after the kids have moved out, the hair has turned silver, and the house is finally quiet again. We promised you the blueprint for a 40-year run, and the poet Ogden Nash wrote the manual. To keep your marriage brimming with love in the loving cup, whenever you're wrong, admit it. Whenever you're right, shut up. Whenever you're right, shut up. That is the golden ticket. It is the hardest thing in the world to do. Biting your tongue when you know for a fact they took the wrong exit on the highway. But letting them figure it out on their own is the price of peace. A long marriage isn't about avoiding the storms. It's about building a solid enough roof that you can both sit inside, sip your coffee, and complain about the rain together. I'm curious about your experience. Who gave the better advice today? Benjamin Franklin and his half-shut eyes, or Ogden Nash telling us to just shut up when we're right? Let me know down in the comments.